Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba, da, da, da. Ba, da, ba, da, da, da. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 da, ba. Ba, da, ba, da, ba, ba, da, da. Ba, ba. Here's Johnny. Thank you, Ed. Well, hello there. Hey, hi, my social media family. Being of any subscribers and any visitors alike to that being of my own YouTube social media channel. Yeah, keep coming back, whoever you are. Just don't come into my comments or chat room section and be coming off as an even worse, excuse my language, pardon my French, and as it played part of the devil's advocate, and that's two evils being a prodigal son, compared to how the worst of two evils is in those closet devil worshippers who make up most churchgoers or whatever religious denomination from the pools to the pulpits. And that is particularly and especially those supposed so-called religious church leaders, prosperity preacher, televangelists, false brethren, false prophets, and antichrist with their different versions of the updated Jonestown Kool-Aid mix punches, and as they would come off like Jim Jones wannabes, modern day religious Pharisees and Sadducees, fleecing their different flocks of parishioners and congregation members, likewise visitors to their mega churches as they bleed the wallets and purses of its monetary, financial, currency content and put senior citizens of the elderly into the poorhouse or the doghouse, have them, more than quite a few of them, wind up or end up in rescue mission shelters themselves after they bleed the senior citizens' pensions or drain their life savings and be attempting to, squeeze blood out of a turnip. But then getting back to I myself as the lesser two evils, being of a prodigal son somewhat, if not altogether. Yes, keep coming back, whoever you are that keep popping on my channel, but hopefully as you could possibly not come off like an internet troll, because you do this all the time, you and whoever else would like you can that does that, and disrespect my own social media channel, being of which I do not appreciate. I mean, if you're going to pop on my channel, at least, stay for, like, say, at least a minute or so before you decide to make your presence known by, from there, complimenting my social media channel furthermore by, coming into my social media comment section or chat room, but not as an internet troll, because if you come off like a character as that being, then first of all, I would take the initiative to silence your chat, and then if you persist to attempt to be further annoying, then from there I will block you from my social media channel, and very few persons, being of whom I block, do I permit re-access to it of some such, because the majority or most to simply say are blocked permanently. And so much for that. Getting back to that vice versa, the basic intro, before I was so rudely interrupted by just another dickhead prick of a nature. Excuse my language, pardon my French. But then my social media family of any subscribers and visitors alike, to that being in my own YouTube social media channel, let me forewarn you that the social media content of the present video broadcast is rather of a sensitive and controversial one. So you have been warned, and if it is too much of a strain on your eardrums, then or could possibly rub you the wrong way or step on your toes, then please, just pay a visit to another YouTube social media channel until you could possibly appreciate the content that I would deliver. A message or if you're not ready to become a participant of a live social media broadcast of viewer-assisted being, hold that thought. The same Mr. Pop-Up had did it again, had done or did it again. Sorry if I butchered the English language of American dialect. But anyway, getting back to some or such other. Yeah, with the slight interjection, the same pop-up artists, pop-up scientists, or they act like they make an art or science out of, disrespecting somebody else's social media channel, had done it or did it again just a minute or so ago. Give or take some seconds. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted again. But then, if you cannot become a participant of my live social media broadcast for this rather sensitive or controversial one, then just review it once it will be over and done with, after I were to discuss matters in due regard and deliver a message, then close out. And if you haven't subscribed to my own social media channel as yet, then maybe in the near future you will. I will hope that you would do just that. Well, equal as well for your own sake as well as for mine. But then I would that much more hope that you would accept Christ as your personal Lord and Savior. Because tomorrow is not promised to anybody. And moving right along. Whereas today's or tonight's or this present social media broadcast is of a rather sensitive or controversial one. Like I said, if you cannot get an ear for or stomach it at the moment, then I don't blame you. If you cannot or could not possibly become a live participant, then just review it once it's over and done with. And, press the like button if it could possibly parlay with a line of thought that you could possibly give the benefit of the doubt. And likewise, press the subscribe button if you have not already, for that being on my own immediate personal YouTube social media channel. Anyway, the present social media broadcast of video is dealing with, as in regard, making reference to the passing of one of the most venomous, wicked witches that ever walked the face of the planet Earth. And whereas her name had become a household name, I don't think that there's one person upon the planet Earth who is old enough to have done research on or upon this one bitch or hoe, of a racist redneck white girl, of a Karen, of a Caucasian woman. Not that all, white females are of the likes, God forbid. And let me give you a Cliff Notes version, explanation, description, or historical record of how she herself had orchestrated or helped others, being of her husband and the half brother of her husband, to orchestrate, initiate, and or perpetrate a most brutal or most vicious hate crime against another individual person of a fellow human for our own species of a different race, And whereas the woman in question is that of a one Miss or Mrs. Carolyn Bryant, who had the late Emmett Till murdered or killed off for supposedly or allegedly whistling at her, only for her to confess years later, before she had passed away most recently, that he did not whistle at her. Then why would you tell a lie or fib like that and risk that young black male's life as she herself had done or did? He himself, being the late Emmett Till, was a young adolescent or teenage black male. And whereas he was a citizen of Chicago, Illinois, and whereas he ventured down south to Money, Mississippi, where the hate crime of a civil and human rights violation offense of a most brutal or vicious nature had taken place as it happened, and for a time frame period of the pre-civil rights movement era. And whereas it was one of the not just one of the great, but one of the greater or one of the greatest catalysms that has sparked the civil rights movement era, you know. Whereas this one Carolyn Bryant had claimed that the late Emmett Till had whistled at her in Money, Mississippi, and then whereas her husband and her her husband's brother had went head hunting, searching for the whereabouts of the late Emmett Till, and they had found him. And according to the late Emmett Till's cousin, who had survived years later to give his own version of what happened, whereas part of the story, whereas the cousin of the late Emmett Till said that when they had come where they thought Emmett Till would be, he remembered hearing a woman in a pickup truck, and he was pretty sure it was Carolyn Bryant, sitting between her husband and the half brother of her husband, or sitting in the back of the pickup truck, if not in the passengers, in the what you call the passenger seating plan arrangement up front in the pickup truck. And whereas they had asked her, "Is that him?" And she said, "Yes, that's him." And then whereas they did a whole lot of horrific, brutal, vicious, violent stuff to the late Emmett Till, whereas I don't know if some of such others that I've heard, it would be considered by some as a conspiracy theory compared to how others tend to differ. So far as it's supposed to be more than rumored that they supposedly had even sexually assaulted, raped, or molested the late Emmett Till before they had murdered or killed him. The husband, as well as the half-blooded brother of the husband of Carolyn Bryant, who had just most recently passed away. Well, I know for sure that from what I have gathered of historical fact, regardless of any conspiracy theories or rumors, that they, being the husband and the half-blooded brother of the husband of Carolyn Bryant, had beat the crap out of him, to put it mildly, but then that's not the half of what I mean to say, but I'm trying to keep it kosher, I mean, they were supposed to have put a refrigerator wire around his neck, and they supposed to have chopped his face a number of times with an axe, or maybe it was a Mexican machete for that matter, And then a lot of Hispanics are racist. Not all Hispanics, That's supposed to be a part of their culture, as I'm hearing it, Well, anyway, though, getting back to these racist rednecks, and to add insult to injury, whereas the husband of the late Carolyn Bryant, as well as the brother of the late Carolyn Bryant's husband, the half-blood brother of him, I don't know if they still living. If they are, I wish, justice would be served, whereas, a group of social activists or whatever races, a combination of races, black, white, etc., would go head hunting for those murderous dogs. That is, head hunting to bring them to justice. I'm talking about in a legit legal kind of way, to bring it to the attentions of not only the general public in Americas or for the continental United States of America, but then for the rest of the global communities, countries, and nations, that they need to be served warrants for their arrest if they're still living. Whereas, you know, social justice should be carried out, you know, in respect to the late Emmett Till, you know. But anyway, though, this one racist redneck white Karen for her day, back during the pre-civil rights movement era, she had managed to escape the hangman's noose. Well, somewhat, if not all together. Well, karma is a monster. Though she had escaped the hangman's noose in one line of thought in her sense of word, but she didn't escape in another, then because karma is a monster, where she passed away from the big C. The big C being AK cancer, you know. But then at one time or another, before she had passed away, like years later, after that historical hate crime incident, she had confessed that Emmett Till did not whistle at her. But then from there, she went into hiding. So I'm wondering, what's the reason or purpose for she herself to confess if she's not going to try to make things right and become one of the chief spokespersons against racism, and she could get together with a number of different races of people's person and try to spearhead a movement to combat racism. If she's going to confess and then go into hiding, you know, I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, you understand where I'm coming from? But anyway, she most recently passed away. That demon in human flesh, you know. I guess the guilt of her involvement in the murder of that young black male caught up with her. You know, the guilt to confess, that is, you know, and then to go into hiding once again. But then karma is amongst that time where she passed away from the big C, cancer, you know. Yeah, so let me give you all the Cliff Notes version. The how should I put it? Should I say the Emmett Till story, or the Carolyn Bryant story, or the Emmett Till autobiography, or the Carolyn Bryant autobiography? Anyway, though, so Emmett Till, he was a young black male from the Midwest. As a matter of fact, from the city of metropolitan Chicago, Illinois, U.S. For where I'm at, you know. And you know, like just before you get to Canada and before you get to Mexico, like whereas American citizens are within the continental United States of America, between the two countries or nations otherwise, being of which are upon our borders, north and south, you know, and in the Western Hemisphere. So Emmett Till, far up north here for the Midwest, he was being instructed by his elders or relatives that there are different laws and bylaws down south, and that he should be careful when venturing down that way to visit relatives, as they were going to send him down there for the summer. As a matter of fact, Emmett Till had a white girlfriend. Did you all know that? Whereas he wasn't racist at all. He had a white girlfriend, you know. Not that that would give some kind of speculation or give credit to certain other conspiracy theorists. Not that they should go there, not that all would think to do so. Conspiracy theorists in general, where some could say maybe he did whistle at her. No. Regardless of whether or not he did, that would not warrant for some of such, you know, prehistoric Neanderthals or brain dead, brainless, fucking idiots, shithead pieces of shit, or racist redneck white boys who do a great discredit or disrespect to their own white or Caucasian race to people's persons and discredit other white boys or Caucasian males to have cold-bloodedly murdered that young adolescent or teenage black male. I'm sorry for the cussing square like I'm going to say, but I mean, if I could have an emotional outburst like that, then imagine certain other black, Hispanic, and Asian person. Not that all black and brown persons or black and Hispanic persons would be a line of thought or in that same sense of word otherwise to be like they don't trust white people or white persons in general. They hate all white people, white persons when they get to researching matters of how certain white person, not all white persons, have really proved themselves to be just so brutal, so vicious, so sadistic, so murderous. You know, I mean, imagine that. But anyway, though, Emmett Till, he was instructed by his elders or relatives about how there are different laws and bylaws down south that are just ever so much different from any laws and bylaws up north within the continental USA. Now, I don't know what had happened for things to go south pretty quick, and pardon the pun, none was meant, none had been intended, for that last mention. But things did go pretty south in the deep down south. And with what is commonly called and unknown, what was commonly called and unknown back then could possibly, not practical, but could possibly be still commonly called and unknown now as Klan country. Somewhere around the Mason-Dixie line, especially for, somewhere down south like Mississippi, and Money, Mississippi at that. That's where the late Emmett Till was murdered by some racist, redneck, dickhead, prick white boys, a brain dead, brainless, bonehead, butthead ass, SOB bastard caveman characters, I wonder if they're still living, because I would like, so many social activists, black, white, etc., or green moon marchers from outer space in human form, for that matter. I get to think about the TV show Comedy Resident Alien. Anyway, though, I wish they would search out these white boys and see to it if they can get arrested by the police and then be charged with a hate crime. For that one, the historical hate crime way back then that happens during the 50s, when the Cold War was going on between the Americans and the Russians. Or there's pretty much of a Cold War developing now, Speaking upon some such other matter, not that I mean to wag the dog, but getting back to the original topic of discussion of a sudden matter of the content at hand. So Emmett Till, I don't know what happened, but he went down to Mississippi, Money, Mississippi, and things went pretty south, mighty quick in the deep south, down south, And before you know it, they come head hunting for Emmett Till, And from what there's so many different versions of what had happened. Let me just give you one of them. Whereas at one time or another, these racist redneck white boys, they were supposed, the husband and half-blooded brother, Carolyn Bryant's husband. Why I keep saying Carolyn? I'm sorry. I'm having a what you call from a speech impediment, speech defect to a memory lapse episode. Sorry about that. But rather, what I meant to say, correction. Where's the husband and half-blooded brother, Carolyn Bright's husband of Carolyn Bright, and the half-blooded brother of Carolyn Bright's husband. Once they had found out where Emmett Till was supposedly had been staying with relatives down south, being of this young black Chicago citizen, young black Chicago black American, young black Chicago, the young black Chicago resident of an American citizen. Once they found out that where he was staying at with his relatives down south, whereas they supposed to had asked his what uncle or something, where's that boy? Where's that boy? Where's that black boy that whistled at this white woman? Where is he at? Just tell us where he at, where we can find him. And he's supposed to be somewhere around here. We ain't gonna hurt y'all years. We just want him. And they supposed to grab them out of bed and threw him in the pickup truck and then, sped down a country road going something like, what was it, 100 miles an hour or more, something like that. Took him to the spot where they beat him mercilessly and then some. I'm sorry, you all. I'm having a moment. Regardless of whether or not there's any fact in the matter that the late Emmett Till was supposed to be a first, or second, or third cousin of mine. But I can't do this shit anymore. That is broadcast this fucking racist bullshit. I may close out soon enough thinking about as I reflect upon the death of the late Emmett Till. So I'm just gonna try to speed down this Cliff Notes version of this shit. This goddamn shit, y'all. Goddamn racist bullshit. Oh Lord, forgive me for using your name today. Oh God, I'm sorry. I need some Kleenex. Sorry. But anyway, though, then what did the former ex political alderman or political alderwoman, what was it, 29th Ward, Renda Troutman, what she say about, that being the supposed so-called Democratic Republic or democracy of the USA? She said it's hard to raise two or three or a couple few boys of her own in the belly of the beast. That's before she was, taken prisoner by the white Philistines, the wingtip shoe wearing, what was it? CIA as well as FBI, cocksuckers in ass, or FBI, fairy booty idiots, fairy booty imbecile, fairy booty ignoramuses, cock as well as cocksucking idiot airheads, cocksucking imbecile airheads, cocksucking ignoramus cocksucking ignoramus airheads. No, I'm sorry, you all. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I really don't have any qualms with any, CIA as well as FBI agents who would be trying to, do the job that they're paid for to provide social justice. But so far, they have been sitting on their laurels when it come down to, getting some of such social justice in cooperation with the family members and relatives of the late Mr. Emmett Till, But then this hoe has escaped the hangman's noose. Well, somewhat if not, I guess she may not have been brought to trial, for that social injustice she helped orchestrate, initiate, and perpetrate against the late Emmett Till But then karma's a monster, whereas the big C, cancer, had got her, you know. So that's why I had, gone about making the name title for this one particular social media broadcast, video, or whatever one wants to make of it. Whereas I was saying it more words or less, as I called it. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead, or as it is part of the name title or some of such. Yeah, and so whereas damn hell has gotten its newest member or citizen down there, and where the devil and the demons could possibly be biting and clawing on her ass even as I speak. You bitch, you hoe. The devil and the demon could be like saying in regards to you fucking bitch, you foul hoe. And the devil could be like, get that bitch baby. Not that there's anywhere in damn hell she can escape. The devil could be like saying to the demon, bring that bitch here now, bring that hoe in that thing. See more hoe, bring that ugly evil bitch, that ugly evil hoe here now. Sweet not so sweet Caroline. You funky, foul, ugly, evil bitch, oh ho. Though you escape the hangman's noose or the hangman's gallows, but you didn't escape Mr. Big C Cancer. Are you sure you a Christian, man? All that cussing and swearing you doing like a drunken sailor? I don't know. You surprised me at times. I mean, if you're not one of those closet devil worshippers, religious church hypocrites, as you say that most churchgoers or whatever religious denominations are, then the only thing to think from there then is that you yourself must be like a prodigal son, a believer that has gone astray from the will of God, from his divine plan, to be associated with him and represent he himself as the greater glory, you know. But then if there is another alternative option, no, it ain't there is no other alternative option so far when it comes to the unbelievers and non-believers, okay, for those otherwise, but then I did say I am a Christian, a believer in God, and sometimes I misbehave like a prodigal son, that's two evils, playing the part of the devil's advocate. You can believe me. You can believe, take it for what you want, and believe me one way or another. That what you say? Well, you know what I'm saying. I mean, you can think as you will, but I know I'm a believer in God. You believe me to be this or that, but I know that I am. I mean, you just have to trust me. Not that I'm the devil or a demon of the devil. You know. But then the good book says that the last and final false prophet and antichrist, who will be the devil in human form, has yet to come forth. He could possibly already be alive and well in the world right now. And speaking upon those matters, and ready for that opportune time to make his appearance known by the whole wide world, the world wide web, the global community, etc. Yeah, I'm cussing and swearing. I did cuss and swear quite a bit, didn't I? Huh? Then I did kind of make it ugly. Huh, Jojo Rabbit? I'm, I'm sorry. That was a little joke the lad mentioned. You are to cut out and you are to represent. Get me thinking about YouTube right here. Let me see. The Adolf Hitler wannabe impersonator Charlie Chaplin. Oh, that thought was You know, remember that old classic movie flick, Charlie Chaplin as Adolf Hitler? Hold up, y'all. Let me see. Oh, wait. Hold up. I'm going to Google it. Charlie. I'll show y'all. I'm speaking about those man. Now they come, man. Charlie Chaplin as Adolf Hitler. I think that should give it a movie. Oh, yeah, that movie was The Great Dictator. That's the name of it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Check it out, though. Hold it, you all. Let me see. Okay. Check it out. Charlie Chaplin as the Great Dictator. Okay, hold up. Yes, thank you for asking. But then why is your username blasphemy? Okay, hold up. No, let me see. Okay. YouTube. Charlie Chaplin, the Great. Oh, yeah, bear with me, y'all. Oh, here it is. Okay, here. Check it out. Okay.
The dictator of Romania, the conqueror of Austerlitz, the future emperor of the world.
Let me turn this around like I'm going to be confused with a gangbanger.
I can't. You must. It's our only hope.
Man, get your ass up there and speak. If you're going to be like, trying to be a social activist, speaking for social justice for all races of peoples, persons, like our great Führer, former ex-president Donald Trump. But then, you all, the word Führer translated in American English, coming from the German language, only means leader. It don't necessarily have to be associated with and representing a despot of a third world country or a dictator, a nation that wants to attempt to conquer the world. But check it out, though. Listen, y'all.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be an emperor.
I don't want to be an emperor.
That's not my business.
That's not my business.
I don't want to rule or
I don't want to rule or conquer anyone.
I should like to help everyone.
I would like to help everyone.
Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone. The good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful. But we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind.
Thank you for that.
We think too much. And
be sure to subscribe to my channel if you have not already.
More than cleverness, we need kindness.
Then who is your little brother?
Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost.
The
airplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish.
Got in control of a whole
soldiers,
country,
don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men, with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill their promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite! Hannah, can you hear me? Wherever you are, look up, Hannah. The clouds are lifting. The sun is breaking through. We are coming out of the darkness into the light. We are coming into a new world, a kindlier world. Rise above their hate, their greed, and brutality.
My poor brother.
Look up, Hannah. The soul of man has been given wings, and at last he is beginning to fly. He is flying into the rainbow, into the light of hope, into the future, the glorious future that belongs to you, to me. Look up,
Hannah. Back down! Back down! It looked like Elias! We gotta go back down! No! Keep going! But look, the Viet Cong going! Remember that one scene in that movie flick, Platoon? Yeah, she burning that Carolyn Bryant. She's burning it down here. Back down! The Viet Cong is on Elias! You know, I think I know what happened to Sergeant Elias. I think as far as otherwise, I think he set it up for Elias to get in the back by the Viet Cong, and that's with friendly fire. Remember that movie called Platoon? There's Sergeant Elias and Sergeant Barnes. And Sergeant Elias had beef with Sergeant Barnes because Sergeant Barnes wanted to he wanted to waste the whole Viet Cong village. And Sergeant Elias was saying, "Who do you think you are? You're not qualified for it, and you don't have a license to become a one-man killing army. You piece of crap." So much for that, But anyway, though, getting back to the original topic of discussion before I close out, Well, I'm about to do so now. So Carolyn Bryant, Carolyn Bryant was one of the main causes, as well as the death of Emmett Till, to have sparked the civil rights movement, Oh, come on, man. What are you talking about? Using with the username Lord Cybercat. Who's at some hotel? Don't come on my channel talking crazy crap. Carolyn Bryant is dead, man. Okay? That's what the most recent news broadcast for the different news channel stations was saying. She just most recently passed away. That ugly, evil bitch, or oh, excuse my language, that ugly, evil demon in the flesh of a white Karen, white girl, Caucasian woman. Don't come on my channel talking crazy crap. She passed away, you know. Yeah, hopefully she got right with God before she went out of this world. But as far as I know, I'm thinking she didn't. Oh, okay. I never heard of Husband Hotel. It's in hell, huh? Okay, user with the username of Lord Cybercat. Are you a Christian or what? You know, could you please tell me what your religious affiliations is? But anyway, though, I'm gonna close out. So I think I gave you all the general historical story of what had happened between the racist redneck white girl Karen, a Caucasian woman by the name of Carolyn Bryant, and the late young adolescent or teenage black male by the name of Mr. Emmett Till that had become a victim to her prejudiced racism, you know. And hopefully Emmett Till is in heaven as well as she herself. Okay, thank you for that. You're a Lutheran. But anyway, I'm going to close out by saying, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I will hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins, by recognizing or realizing what he himself had done or did upon the cross of Calvary on the hill of Golgotha, suffering at the hands of some such Roman soldiers up under orders of their superiors, being religious, political, militaristic, etc. You know, especially the likes of Pharisees and Sadducees. But then nevertheless, he went to that cross of Calvary to become the perfect sacrifice, the only sacrifice for you as well as for me. Don't steal my trademark physical gender. I'm going to copyright it sometime. So if any of us, regardless of race, walk of life, gender, or age, were to profess faith in him, we would not have to worry about going to damn hell because we would have acquired citizenship of the kingdom of heaven. You all take care, be safe, be blessed, not stressed, and we out. Peace.